These sessions are based on the book The Messiah Codes Unsealed.
Hello, this is Luis again. Welcome to the Messiah Codes. Today we're on session 33, the 10th code, an appointed day. Shemini Atzeret, the 8th day, part 2, another day of new beginnings. On part 1 of this series, we briefly explained the 19-year calendar that reconciles every 19 years the lunar and the solar calendars. To dig deeper into the calendars, watch session 2. We also explained and proved historically that the fall of Israel's northern kingdom began on 742 BC when the Assyrian king Tiglath-Pileser III, also known as King Pul, demanded tribute, and King Menahem of Israel gave King Pul 1,000 talents of silver. Then we showed that historically Israel fell and was destroyed by King Shalmaneser V of Assyria in 723 BC, when King Hosea of Israel stopped paying the tribute. 742 BC to 723 BC is 19 years. We also explained that the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar entered Jerusalem in 605 BC demanding the payment of tribute, just like King Pul demanded tribute from Israel. The tribute was paid by King Jehoiakim, and Nebuchadnezzar left Jerusalem just like King Pul left after Israel paid its tribute. Then, in 586 BC, after King Zedekiah stopped paying tribute, just like King Hosea did in Israel, Nebuchadnezzar entered and destroyed Jerusalem and the temple. From 605 BC to 586 BC is also 19 years. So, from the beginning to the end, there were 19 years declared for the destruction of kingdoms, the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. Now, the modern state of Israel was founded in the year 1948, and Jerusalem, its historical capital, was taken in 1967 during the Six-Day War. From 1948 to 1967, there are also 19 years. If this phenomenon is a prophetic pattern and not just coincidental, this is what we see. We have two 19-year cycles for the destruction of kingdoms, but we have, for now, only one 19-year cycle for the establishment of kingdoms. So we are missing one 19, or we would be missing one 19-year cycle for the establishment of kingdoms, right? To confirm the 19-year pattern for the destruction and establishment of kingdoms, let's unravel the prophecies in Ezekiel 4, beginning with verses 4 and 5 about the 390 days of Ezekiel laying on his left side, using principles we have already discussed, such as the 360-day prophetic year and the sidereal year length, right? So let's read Ezekiel 4 and 5. Lie in your left side and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it. According to the number of the days that you lie on it, you shall bear their iniquity. For I have laid on you the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 days. So you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And in verse 6, I have laid on you a day for each year. So each day represents a year. We know that God makes prophecies using the length of the prophetic year. And to transform them into our years, we need to first turn them into days and then turn them back into years using the length of the sidereal year, just like we did to decode Daniel's prophecy of the death of Messiah in chapter 9, verses 24 through 27, as we studied in session 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we multiply 390 years times 360 days per year, and we get a total of 144,400 days. But here is an important detail. The Lord said in verse 4 that, according to the numbers of the days that you lie on it, you shall bear their iniquity. Since this action had to be taken for the iniquity, for the sin of Israel, how does Israel atone for its sin? God's mandated sacrifice for the atonement for the iniquities of Israel is done in Yom Kippur. In order for atonement to occur, the Lord gave the following instructions in Leviticus 16, verses 18 through 19. And he, the high priest, shall go out to the altar that is before the Lord and make atonement for it, and shall take some of the blood of the bull and some of the blood of the goat and put it on the horns of the altar all around. Then he shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times, cleanse it, and consecrate it for the uncleanness of the children of Israel. So, following God's instructions, we multiply 144,400 days times 7 to get 982,800 days. That's a lot of days. Now, let's convert those days into our years by dividing them by the sidereal year. And we get 2,690 years and some decimals. So, based on the historical record and the prophetic data in the Bible, those 390 days of punishment bring us to 2 very important years in the destruction and then the establishment of Israel. If we start with the date of the beginning of the end of the kingdom of Israel in 742 BC and then add 2,690 years of punishment, we end up on AD 1948, the beginning of the establishment of the modern state of Israel. And if we start with the date of the end of the northern kingdom of Israel in 723 BC and then add 2,690 years of punishment, we end up in AD 1967, which is when Jerusalem was taken, finishing the formation of the nation of Israel. More importantly, this prophecy is the confirmation that we needed to establish the existence of a prophetic 19-year pattern. From the beginning of the fall of Israel, when Assyria required tribute from Israel in 742 BC to King Hosea, Hosea's death is in 723 BC, there are 19 years. From the beginning of the fall of Jerusalem, when Babylon required tribute from Jerusalem in 605 BC to the destruction of the temple and Jerusalem in 586 BC, there are 19 years. And from the beginning of the formation of the modern state of Israel in AD 1948 to the end of the establishment of its establishment when they took Jerusalem in 1967, there are 19 years. As we continue to observe, the consistency and accuracy of the patterns is impressive, showing us that God is giving us keys to decrypt the codes through those patterns. We see fulfilled 2 destructions of kingdoms, but only 1 establishment of kingdoms. So we're still missing 1 19-year cycle for the establishment of 1 last kingdom. Does the Bible give enough information to unravel the mystery of the last 19-year cycle? And which last kingdom will be established? The answer to both questions is yes. To that end, let's analyze the second part of the prophecy in Ezekiel 4. If the 390-day prophecy is that accurate and sets an exact pattern that became true after 2,690 years, we can be certain that the 40 days prophetic prophecy will also bring accurate dates for the events it is prophesying. Let's read again Ezekiel 4:6, right? And when you have completed them, lie again on your right side. Then you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have laid on you a day for each year. To that end, let's analyze the second part of the prophecy, right? We know that the absence of the temple, which is the desolations of Jerusalem, is the punishment of Judah, or the punishment of Jerusalem. So it is the desolations of Jerusalem. It is the absence of the temple. Do the 40 days of Ezekiel 4 prophesy the second desolation of Jerusalem? In other words, the period of time during which Jerusalem will have no temple? And if that is so, for how many years will Judah be without the temple? To unseal this mystery, we read about the Jubilee year in Leviticus 25, 8 through 10. And you shall count 7 Sabbaths of years for yourself, 7 times 7 years, and the time of the 7th Sabbath of years shall be to you 49 years. Then you shall cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the day of atonement you shall make the trumpet to sound throughout all the land. That's for the 49 years, right? And you shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty through all the land to all its inhabitants. And it shall be a jubilee for you, and each of you shall return to his possession, and each of you shall return to his family. God describes the year of Jubilee as a time to return to your possession, to return to your family. This is a prophecy with double fulfillment. It marks the time of God's return to his house, to the temple, and we will see later that it also prophesies Jesus' return to earth to establish his kingdom. Note that the Lord didn't say 50 years, but rather he instructed a cycle of 7 times 7 years, which is 49 years, plus one cycle of 1 year, which finishes the 50-year cycles, right? Will the end of the first 49 cycles give us the year when the temple will return to Jerusalem? So, as per the prophecy, each cycle is 40 years long. Then we multiply it by 7 times 7, which is 49 cycles, and we get 1,960 years of the desolations of Jerusalem as the punishment for the iniquity of Judah. Just like in Leviticus 26 prophecy, landing the dedication of the third temple once more in 2030. Let's do the calculations, right? Ezekiel's prophecy marked 2030 as the year of the dedication of the third temple, confirming the other prophecies in Genesis 6, Leviticus 26, and the last 2,000-year cycle from the death of Messiah to the dedication of the third temple. He died in 30 AD, and the third temple will be dedicated in 2030, so exactly 2,000 years. That completes the 6,000 years of the Father's calendar from the fall to the beginning of the last generation, as we already studied when we studied the 6,000 years, right? I'm not trying to set dates, but the consistency of the results of the data analysis indicates that the year 2030 will be the year that ends the current desolations of Jerusalem and therefore marks the year of the dedication of the third temple. As we just saw, the first date hidden in the prophecy of the 40 days for Judah refers to God's return to his temple after 1,960 years, right? Remember that the formula is 7 times 7, which is 49 cycles, which solves the first hidden prophecy, plus one cycle of 40 years, which conceals a second hidden prophecy. That's to complete the 50th cycle. So for the 50th and last cycle in the calculations, we add the last 40 years, and that gets us to the year of the last year of the prophecy, the year 2070, which goes from September of 2069 to September of 2070, right? That is the last possible date for the calculations, and it reflects the time of the second coming. We will see that as we decode other prophecies, the puzzle becomes even clearer, and the interdependency of the prophecies confirm their conclusions. Again, how is it possible that about 500 years before Christ, Ezekiel was able to prophesy the exact year of the founding of Israel and the exact year of the taking of Jerusalem? Please think, how? Unless we are living in a creation or a simulation, it's the same thing. And the creator, the simulator, God, is giving us encoded data to confirm the authority of his word and therefore of the biblical doctrine. Remember Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. God wants us to search those mysteries. And this is the time of the end. So he's unsealing the knowledge as a show of his great mercy. As it's written in Daniel 12, verses 8 through 10. So the angel presents Daniel events and he doesn't understand. And he says, although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. And we are at the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white, and refined by the blood of the Lamb, of course. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand. That's God's prophecy. And if the first part of the prophecy, the part about the 390 days, was fulfilled so accurately, Why would we not believe that the second part will be as accurate? The part about the 40 days that foretell the date of the dedication of the third temple in 2030 and the second coming in the year 2070. Again, the year 2070 goes from September 2069 to September of 2070. That's the confirmation of the prophecy in Hosea 6:1-2. Remember, we read this. Come, let us return to the Lord, for he has torn us, that he might heal us. He has struck us down, and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will raise us up, that we may live before him. So, for 2 of God's days, God will discipline Israel, but God will heal them on the third day and raise them so that they may live before him. That will happen when Messiah is reigning on earth. 1 of God's days equals 1,000 years, as per 2 Peter 3 verse 8. So 2 days is 2,000 years. This prophecy began with the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple in AD 70, when they were torn and struck, and will end 2,000 years later in the year 2070, which goes from Tishri 1, 2069 to Elul 29 AD 2070, right? According to the model, that is the last year that is possible to calculate using the data in the prophecies, and it confirms the period between September of 2069 and September of 2070, and that should mark the year of the second coming of the Lord. God gave us this symmetry, right? There were 40 years from Jesus' death to the destruction of the second temple, and we will find in the next session that based on God's preferences for patterns, there will be 40 years from the dedication of the third temple to Jesus' second coming and the creation of the millennial kingdom. And we're going to get more exact dates with that study. That is the last generation, right? Those last 4 years. As per the model, the year 2070 will be again the year of Messiah's second coming, the parousia. God wrote a divine story telling us in a precise way the most important events in the life of Jesus and the church, occurring sequentially and exactly on a Jewish festival or appointed day. So we're studying today the last appointed day, right? Shemini Atzeret, celebrated on Tishri 22, the day when you return to your house after 7 days living in small rooms, or prophetically after 7 years living in rooms that Jesus went to prepare for us in the house of the Father. So it's the day after the Festival of Tabernacles, right? Therefore, prophetically, the last date that we can calculate in the model is Shemini Atzeret on Tishri 22 of 2069-2070, which falls in our calendar either on the evening of Sunday, October 6th, or on the daytime of Monday, October 7, AD 2069. One of those 2 days is the day of the second coming, but without the hour, we don't know the day. The Lord said in Genesis 6:3 that there would be no more than 120 jubilees to the end times, and the model confirms that we will never get to the 121 Jubilee anniversary, because that Jubilee falls in the year 2080, 50 years or a Jubilee cycle after the dedication of the temple, of the third temple. So for a deep dive, if you want to get more deep into that, watch sessions 12, 13, and 14. In the next session, we will continue putting the rest of the puzzle together with the same level of precision we have done to date, by confirming once more the day of the dedication of the third temple, unsealing which kingdom will be established in the 19-year cycle for the establishment of kingdoms, and the date of a very important event that marks the beginning of the last 19-year cycle. We will also unseal the chronology of the events that will occur during that last 19-year cycle. We will unseal the mystery of the 1,290 days and 1,335 days in Daniel 12. We will unseal the mystery of the 144,000 virgin Jewish martyrs, and then we will present the final and complete calendar. See you in the next session.